Topic 2, test review. Starting off, I gave you a general picture here with parallel lines and a transversal. Okay, going over all 6 of the angle pair relationships. So, for alternate interior, I'm just going to do this for one example. Remember, interior or exterior, that means inside or outside the parallel lines. Okay, so if you think of a box, okay, that's where the interior exterior means. And then alternate or same side, that has to do with the transversal. Okay? Right, so for alternate interior, give me an angle pair. That's alternate interior. Anybody?
3 and 6.
I heard 3 and 6. Okay, are there any other ones?
5 and 4.
Also 5 and 4 would work. So angle 3 and angle 6. What do we know about alternate interior angles? What do we know about their angle measures? They are congruent. They're the same. Yep. So we know alternate interior angles are congruent to each other. Alternate exterior. Give me an example.
1 and 8.
I hear 1 and 8. Is there another one?
2 and 7.
Also 2 and 7. Good. What do we know about alternate exterior angles? They are congruent again. Good. Same side interior. I agree with 3 and 5. Are there any other ones? 4 and 6. Okay. What do we know about same side interior angles and their angle measures? They are supplementary. Yep. Good. Corresponding.
3 and 7.
I agree with 3 and 7. Are there others? Give me them. 1 and 5. 2 and 6. 4 and 8. I'm just gonna use 4 and 8 as an example. What do we know about corresponding angles? They are congruent. Yep. What's different about corresponding compared to all the others? I'll use 4 and 8 as an example. One's inside, one's outside, and they are on the same side. Okay, that one's a little bit different than the rest. Vertical angles. Give me an example.
1 and 4.
I hear 1 and 4. Are there a lot of others? Yes. What do we know about vertical angles? They are congruent. Now, for vertical angles, does that mean they're just on top of each other? 1 and 2. No, 1 and 2 are not vertical angles. I'm going to use 2 and 3. Are those vertical angles? How do we know?
Because they are
They're across from a vertex. Okay, so whenever you see them across from a vertex, they are vertical angles. So another example would be 6 and 7. I did not do that on purpose. Adjacent.
7 and 8.
I agree with 7 and 8. Are there multiple other ones? Yes. What do we know about adjacent angles? They are right next to each other. They share a wall. What do we know about their angle measures? They are supplementary. Yep. Okay, so again, those are your 6 angle pair relationships. On your test, I'm not going to have you list them like this. You're just going to be asked questions like, are these alternate interior? What angles are supplementary? Just different things like that. Okay, so you're not going to be listing different things like that. You just have to know how to utilize them. Okay? On number 2, on number 2, again, very basic things here. Define the following terms. What does congruent mean? They're the same or equal. Yep, congruent means they're the same or equal. So like we said, for vertical angles up at the top, they're congruent. That just means they have the same angle measure. Okay. Supplementary, what's that mean?
Add up to 180.
Add up to 180. So when we said adjacent angles are supplementary, we know they add up to 180. Okay. I'm going to come back up here real quick on my picture. We said 7 and 8 are adjacent, yes?
Yep.
Okay. What's another reason we know they add up to 180 in this picture? They're on a straight line. Okay, they are on a straight line. Any angles that are a part of that straight line, they all add up to 180 degrees. Okay? So when we get to number 3, do these 2 problems look familiar to anybody? Why?
Algebra.
These are your bonus IXLs.
What?
These are screenshots from your bonus IXLs. So do you think a bonus IXL is very important to study? Yes, okay, because sometimes I pull questions from your bonus IXLs. Okay, so looking at these are applied to the 6 definitions that we talked about on the left side of your review. Okay, so biggest thing on A and B is we need to figure out what the angle pair relationship is first. Okay, because that'll tell us how to set up the problem. So on A, what is that angle pair relationship? It is alternate exterior. What did we say about alternate exterior on the left side of our review? They're congruent. So again, if it's congruent, what does that mean? They're the same. What's the algebraic equation I can set up if they're the same? Set them equal to each other, right? We know these two angles have to be equal to each other. So to set up an equation, I'm just going to take 13x minus 5 equals 125. How do I solve this? Add 5. So I get 13 equals 130. Last step. Oh, sorry. That should be an x there. Yep. Divide by 13. X equals 10. And again, these ones just want that x value. Sometimes you might have to plug it back in. Okay, just be aware of that. B, what's the angle pair relationship on that one? It is same side interior. What was another term for same side interior? What? There's another term for that. It starts with a C. Consecutive interior. There it is. What do we know about consecutive interior angles? Or same side interior? Yep, supplementary, which we said supplementary means what? Add up to 180. So, what is an algebraic equation I can set up with these two angles? Do I want to set them equal to each other? No, because they're not congruent, right? What do I want to do if I know they add up to 180? Add them together, set it equal to what? Exactly. So I'm going to take 8x plus 9, that first angle, plus the second angle, 51, set that equal to 180. Okay. I'm going to combine like terms, so I get 8x plus 60 equals 180. What's next? Subtract 60. So I get 8x equals 120. There we go. Last step. Divide by 8. X equals 15. Good. Okay, again, you will have problems similar to this, but are they going to be alternate exterior and same side interior? They could be, but are they going to be the exact same? No. So just make sure when you know what the relationship is, see if they're congruent or supplementary. You're either going to set them equal to each other if they're congruent, or you're going to add them up and set it equal to 180 if they are supplementary. Okay? Number 4. This is about section 2.3. I want to talk about number 5 first because that's going to help us out a little bit. It says, what do we know about angles of a triangle?
They all have to equal 90.
Yeah, all angles, write this down if you don't have it, all angles add up to 180. Now, doesn't matter what kind of triangle it is. Okay, as long as it has 3 sides, you know all angles add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so looking at number 4, says find the measure of each angle of the triangle. Okay, how many of you just found U and said that was your answer? Good. Okay, but a lot of us might do that. So what I want you to do, we always have to read directions. Because if it wants each angle, how many answers are we going to have?
2.
We're going to find 2 of the angles because we already know one of them, right? So you could have 2 or 3 answers here, depending on what the picture gives you. So on this one here, again, what do we know about all the angles?
They add up to 180.
Add up to 180. So what am I going to do to set up an equation?
180. Wait, no.
Yeah, because we're going to add all the angles up and set it equal to what? 180. Okay, so I'm going to take 30 plus 4u plus 6u equals 180. Took all 3 angles, added them together. So I'm going to combine like terms. So I get 30 plus 10u equals 180. What do I do from here? Subtract 30. So we have 10u equals 150. Last step, divide by 10. U equals 15. Is that my answer?
Wait, no.
No, it's pretty helpful though, right? I already know this angle's 30, so we're done there. How do I find what the other two angles are?
Plug in you.
I'm going to plug in the 15, right? So this one turns into 4 times 15, which is
60.
60. There's an answer. And then here I do 6 times 15, which is 90. How can you check if your answer is right?
Add up to 180.
If all three of those add up to 180, you're good. If they don't, where do you think you went wrong? You probably got the wrong U value, right? So which means you probably did something wrong in your algebra. Okay, so use that. Be problem solvers. Check your answers there. Okay. Flip to the back side here. Number 6 says, what is the value of X, Y, and Z? How many answers are you going to have on number 6? 3. We want X, Y, and Z. Out of X, Y, and Z in our picture, which one can we find first? That's the one we probably should find first, right? How do I know we can find X?
Did you get the two angles?
Right. Remember in a triangle, if you know 2 angles, can you find what the third one is? Yes. Okay, so what steps do I take in that?
You add 54.
Combine them. Yep, take 82 plus 54, which is 136. Now, pay attention here. These two together give me 136. So how do I find that last one?
180 minus 66.
Yes. Take 180 minus 136, which is
44.
44. Now, just like your homework, I don't care if you write your answers like this or if you put them in the picture. I do not care. Just as long as I know what angle you're talking about there. Next, doesn't matter if I find Y or Z.
No.
Why not?
Because they are vertical.
They're going to be the exact same because they're vertical, right? Do you agree they have the same relationship to X? Right? They have the same relationship. Let's just focus on X and Y here. What's the relationship between the two?
180.
They're 180. What's the word? Adjacent or supplementary, right? So they're adjacent to each other because they're on that straight line. Well, we know they're supplementary because they're on the straight line. Okay, so I know they add up to 180. So how can I find that value of Y?
180 minus 44.
Yep. 180 minus 44 is 136. So I got 136 for Y. What else? Yeah, they're vertical, so I know Z also has to be 136. Okay, but also if you see this, X and Z have the same relationships as X and Y did. Okay, so that's why that works out. And they're vertical angles because they cut across this vertex here. Good. Okay, one more in this topic is number 7. It wants us to find the measure of angle 1. Okay. Can I find the measure of angle 1 directly?
No.
Why not?
Because you need
Because you don't have 2 angles inside the triangle.
Right, I need to know at least 2 angles in a triangle to figure out what the third one is. Okay, so what's going to be helpful is if we find that guy first. What can we do here? Yeah, because again, look at the straight line here. We know those two add up to 180. So I can take 180 minus 80, which gives you
100.
100. So 100 is here. Now can I find what that angle 1 is? How do we find angle 1 now?
100 plus 49. And then 180 minus
Exactly. Because we know 2 of the angles, we can find what the third one is. So I'm going to take 100 plus 49, which is 149. With that, what do I do?
180 minus 49.
180 minus 149 is
31.
31. So measure of angle 1 is 31 degrees. Let's look at number 8 here. It says, what do you know about parallel versus perpendicular lines? So let's look at this here. Parallel lines, what do we know about them? What's the big picture we know? They'll never touch. Why do they never touch? What's the same about them?
Slope.
Same slope. There we go. So we know parallel lines have the same slope. So if line 1 has a slope of 2, what does the parallel line have for a slope? 2. The exact same. What about perpendicular lines? Right. perpendicular lines do not have the same slope, but we know their slopes are opposite reciprocals. You have to do both of them. Opposite reciprocals. Let's break this apart a little bit. What does opposite mean in math? Positive turns to a negative or negative turns to a positive. Yep, so opposite has to do with what the sign is. Okay, what does reciprocal mean? Flip what? The fraction, right? So I'm going to use the example of 2/5. What does that turn into if I do the reciprocal of that? 5/2. Yep. So just remember you have to change the sign and you have to flip the fraction. Okay. And then number 9 kind of ties along with that. What are some things we know about slope? I'm going to look for 2 things here. What are 2 things you think of when you hear slope? Rise over run. That's a big one. Okay, remember with rise over run, that's dealing with how much you're going up versus how much you're going over. So if I had a graph, I'm just going to draw a makeshift one here. Okay, if I had a point here and a point here, I would count how much I go up. I'm just going to say it's 2. And how much I go over, I'm just going to say that's 3. So that would turn into a rise of 2 over a run of 3. That would give us our slope if we were looking on a graph. Okay, what was the other one?
Y equals M.
Yeah, that's the other big one. Y equals mx plus b. This guy right here is going to come in handy for numbers 10 and 11. Okay. All right, for number 10, maybe, there we go. Number 10, it says, what is the equation of a line that is parallel to the line y equals 2x plus 7 and passes through the point negative 2, 4? What are some words that I care about in there? Parallel. That's the big one, right? I care about parallel. So I want to know what the parallel slope would be. Okay? If the lines are parallel, what do we know about the slopes? They're the same. So what's the slope of my original line here? 2, because it's in the spot of m and y equals mx plus b. Good. So what would my parallel slope be? 2. What's our magic equation we're going to use here to help us make an equation? Yep. Y equals mx plus b. So now we want to plug in what we know. Do I know what y is? Or x is? Where do we get those from? That coordinate they give us, right? Here's my x and y. So we're going to plug in everything we know. Remember the goal to finish our equation is we're looking for what b is. Okay, so what's my y value? 4 equals slope 2 times x, negative 2 plus b. So multiply, what's 2 times negative 2? Negative 4. What do I do from here? Add 4. So I get 8 equals b. Is this my answer? Is b my answer? No. Okay, remember, in order to write our equations, we need the slope and we need our b. Once we have those, we can write our new equation. Remember, that is in the form of y equals mx plus b. So what is my slope? 2xb plus 8. Good. How is number 11 different from number 10? Say that one more time.
Perpendicular.
This time it wants the perpendicular version. Do you solve any differently? Other than the slope?
No.
Everything else is the exact same. Okay, so we want perpendicular slope. Remember our perpendicular is with that upside down t. What is my original slope in my equation here? Negative 1/4. So remember, let's talk through the 2 things we have to change. We have to make it opposite. So what does that have to do with?
Positive.
The sign. So it's a negative. We're going to turn it into a positive. Reciprocal means what? Flip. So it turns into 4 over 1. Do I need the over 1?
No.
No. So it can just be 4. Again, use y equals mx plus b. Where do I get x and y from? The coordinate. I have so much written up there, it's not showing up. There we go. X and y. So what is my y value? 7, m, 4x 3 and then plus b. What is 4 times 3? 12. What's my last step here? Subtract 12. So we get negative 5 equals b.
Yep.
Is b my answer?
No.
No, we got to write what? The line equation, right? Y equals 4x minus 5. Good. Last couple things here. On the bottom, I wrote just some little hints and tricks that can help you study. Make sure you are looking at examples from your notes, okay? Because those could be on the test. Any examples that we did together or talked about, those are fair game for what could be on your test tomorrow. Okay, so any examples from notes from topic 2. So 2.1, 2.3, and 2.4. Review all worksheets from topic 2. I do understand I have one of them, okay, because I haven't been able to grade it yet. But that is very similar to what we just talked about on number 10 and 11, what you're going to see on your test. Okay? And then those bonus IXLs are going to be a big factor in studying, okay, because I will pull from those, okay, and you get rewarded for it. Okay, last test, it changed your grade 6 percentage points. I could very well do that again if you get all 3 done, okay? Did any of you have any other questions from the examples that we did together? How about everyone show me a 1 to 5 and then I'll see where we're at. Okay. How do you get to a 4 or a 5 before tomorrow? Study. Look at the review sheet. Look over all the concepts. Look at your notes. Bonus IXLs. Okay. Get a feel for it. Okay.